Lottie Reiniger caught my attention at Bradford Media Museum. At first glance I was intrigued by the organic shapes and the layers used in her images. After the trip I completed some research and discovered more about her animation style and her process. Lottie was born in Berlin in 1899 and was the first person to create a full-length animated film. Prince Ahmed was made in 1926. Made before the invention of talking motion pictures, The Adventures of Prince Ahmed is a silent German film. The animation techniques that are used in this film are unlike anything I've seen before. Every image on the screen is a paper cutout and stop motion is used to make the characters move. This style of filmmaking is called silhouette animation, and it's simply amazing. The amount of detail that Reiniger includes in her characters is astounding, but what's even more incredible is how lifelike the paper cutouts seem. The careful skill that goes into creating the figures give them delicate human characteristics, which is translated on screen and helps the audience to relate to the story. Apart from the complex design and visuals, Lottie Reiniger fascinates me with her ability to stay loyal to a narrative and still convey the meaning of the fairy tale, which seems her main priority.
Despite the intricate nature of her specialized technique of filming, the importance of the story must not be underestimated in Miss Reiniger's work. The magic of the fairy tale has always been her greatest fascination, yet her own interpretations attain a unique quality.
Although Reiniger's animation technique is not practiced much anymore, the elegance and style of the visuals have remained powerful and has influenced animations today. In Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, there is a short animation called The Tale of the Three Brothers. Although it is much more complex, the principle and style behind it is very similar to Reiniger's work. This demonstrates her creative impact on the world of film and animation. Illumination Entertainment broke onto the scene with their brilliantly funny animated film Despicable Me. The company is growing rapidly with 8 films in development, including a sequel to Despicable Me. Illumination Entertainment is an American film production company founded in 2007. It has an exclusive partnership with Universal Studios. They have released 3 feature-length productions, including a version of Dr. Seuss's Lorax. Although co-owned by Universal, it still has creative control as an independent company. Illumination Entertainment specialised in CGI animation and stop motion. To help me make my decision, I thought about my favourite films and animations. Despicable Me stood out for me simply because of the charming characters which have been created and brought to life. This was a big turning point in my decision. I realised that although I love creating and enjoying a strong narrative, I love the satisfaction of giving something life, moulding it into something which has a meaning that can become anything you desire.
I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees.
People across the world love Dr. Seuss, and his drawings have a connection with people, and so there is a responsibility to try to capture some of that in what is a different medium.
I'm the Lorax, guardian of the forest.
You definitely have to take a lot of creative license, because what works on the page of a book isn't necessarily going to work really well in the medium of film.
You chopped down one of my trees to make that piece of garbage?
We didn't know whether or not we could truly do justice to this story until we had translated that very simple design of the Lorax into a 3D character, and we could see that the spirit of his drawing was living and breathing in that dimensional character.
In contrast to Reiniger's early animation practices, Illumination Entertainment are a modern company. It is interesting to see that even though they have over 50 years between them, each practitioner devotes time, effort and skill into perfecting the characters and the setting they live in. I feel this is important in making and developing an animation, and I'm going to strive to carry out the same process in my own work.
You don't love me!
Baz Luhrmann, born 17th of September 1962, is an Australian film director, screenwriter and producer, best known for his Red Curtain trilogy, which includes his films Strictly Ballroom, William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, and Moulin Rouge.
It's very simple. Storytelling, I mean, the silent films before sound came along were at their height of art, the height of storytelling. Then sound came along and it went down a bit. You had to deal with it. But storytelling remains constant. The medium just evolves, and then you learn how to use that, you know, whether it's the stage or when cinema came along. So, you know, it's just the medium. And what remains constant is, are you telling a good story? Does it touch people? Does it unite? Is it useful?
You may think why I've picked a film director for my final practitioner. However, I've chosen Baz Luhrmann as he has influenced me ever since I first watched Romeo and Juliet. He has a very distinct style which is evident in all of his productions, my favourite being Moulin Rouge. In all of his movies you can see strong influences from different aspects of his life. For example, in Moulin Rouge it has a strong visual link with Bollywood. He takes the influences and uses them delicately in the set design, costumes and dialogue. He has also cited Italian grand opera as a major stimulus. Baz Luhrmann has helped me come to my decision of virtual environments because I realise that I'm heavily engrossed by visualisation, and I feel that he delivers a style and theme flawlessly. Also, referring to what I mentioned earlier, story and narrative remains very significant as a point that drives me creatively, and what Baz Luhrmann does so well is captures an environment that seems timeless. I find his work visually beautiful with fantastic cinematography, with his stories complementing his style.